Hello, this was a presentation that I made for my film class analyzing a shot from Breaking Bad. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into this.
Who is it do you think that you are talking to?
A guy opens his door and gets reviewed a shot, and you think that of me?
No.
I am the one who knocks.
While that is a very important and intense shot in Breaking Bad, it is actually not the one I will be discussing today. As the scene, or more importantly, the shot that I will be discussing today is found within the first episode of Breaking Bad, in fact, and it is this one right here. Now, within my discussion and analyzation of this shot, I will be using the criteria of mise-en-scène to determine how well of a shot it actually is. But first, I feel like we require sufficient background on events to determine what led up to this moment. So without further ado, let's do this, bitch! Earlier in the episode, our main character, Walter White, as seen here, finds out that he has cancer. A cancer that will most certainly kill him. Being the boring high school chemistry teacher that Walter is, he realizes that he has nothing to leave for his family, and that he's done really nothing with his life. It is in the shot that I will be analyzing that he contemplates his life and what he should do with his final days. And that leads us into the analysis of the shot. Okay, I tried to record this section a couple days ago and it didn't work out too well. What is the dominant? Dominant is the main thing that your eyes are looking at. The subsidiary contrasts, those are the secondary things your eyes are looking at. In this case, the dominant is Walter's face, as it's the most prominent thing in the scene. The subsidiary contrast is mainly his hand with the matches. And then eventually when it flicks over down to the pool becomes the main dominant thing of that specific holded shot. But still in the overall shot, since it's not cutting and the whole thing is one shot, the main dominant is Walter, and the main subsidiary contrast is Walter's hand. This shot is a very good example of low-key lighting, as the light illuminated from the matches shows in deep contrast to the rest of the scene and the rest of the location, as it is very dark and dim, being in the early morning. This is very intentional, as it shows that the once bright spark of Walter's creativity and drive is now almost entirely gone out, leaving but a feeble flame to be thrown into a pool. The shot is actually largely comprised of one mainly static frame of Walter holding the matches, only briefly panning down to the pool to more of a medium shot as it shows all the matches in the pool, only then to pan back up to Walter holding on just his face without any matches. Similar to the camera proxemics, this shot kind of has two different distinct angles to it. The main angle is eye level with Walter, only to briefly change as you look down at the matches, changing to more of a high angle shot as it looks down, that once again only to come back up, back to an eye level shot. This scene, I'd probably say that the main color is blue, as a lot of the outside of the surrounding area behind Walter, and including Walter's face for a lot of it, is blue as it is in the early morning. However, the contrast to that blue is the orange flame dancing on Walter's hand and his face to show that his spark of creativity and joy is kind of burning out, just like the match in the flame, only to be completely extinguished when he throws it into the blue, depressing pool. Also, blue and orange are opposite on the color wheel, which makes it very easy to distinguish and make distinct between the two. I'd say for most of the scene, there's fairly stark information packed into the image. For most of the scene, all you can really see is Walter and the matches. However, once it pans down to the pool, everything comes more into focus, and that kind of puts a lot more detail on the backyard, on the pool, on the surrounding environment. Honestly, I would probably say that this scene has most in common with diagonal composition lines, as diagonal lines often symbolize anxiety or depression, and the fact that Walter is constantly looking down at the pool or down at the matches in a diagonal fashion, and also he kind of holds the matches in a diagonal fashion as well, symbolizes the fact that he's down in the dumps, so to speak. He's not feeling too good. And the diagonal composition of the scene really emphasizes that point. I'd say this scene is more closed than open in terms of form, because if you look at Walter's hand, the outlining of the pool kind of makes a frame for Walter's hand and the match. In terms of the framing, it's quite a tight framing because Walter is always on the left side of the frame and he doesn't really get that much room to move around. For most of the scene, and it's quite shallow, having only one plane with the background being out of focus, but then once it pans over to the pool, all the background becomes more in focus and it kind of becomes one plane, and then it shifts back up to Walter and the background goes back out of focus. Walter is placed at the edges of this shot as it symbolizes his feelings of insignificance and inadequacy in his own life. And in terms of the staging positions, Walter is kind of facing parallel or perpendicular to the camera, as he's facing to the right of the camera, but he's also kind of facing diagonally towards the pool as well. Not only is there only one character in this shot, there's only one character in the scene, so there's no one there for Walter to be placed in with or to have in the shot with him. Overall, I feel like this is a fantastic shot to symbolize Mise-en-Scène, as it is short, but also it is obviously very well crafted, and it is very intentional on everything that happens. And I do believe that Breaking Bad is a fantastic show, because it is absolutely chock full of these different shots, including one that I showed earlier of Walter being framed by the picture in the background. Absolutely fantastic, and I feel like it is a really good show to look for shots to analyze with Mise-en-Scène. Also, it's just a really good show in general. Anyways, thank you for listening and I guess watching, and yeah, that's this presentation done.